Exploring delicacies found in China's garbage dumps. A massive sinkhole appears in Wuhan. Yunnan police beat farmers and destroy a banana plantation. ID now required to access the internet in China. China's diamond market faces turbulence, prices dropped to 30%. Chinese food is delicious, but it comes with significant risks. Did you know the takeout you get in China might be packed with a rag and bare hands? Any food that spills out during packing is just thrown back in. And those frozen dumplings you love? They might be made by machines surrounded by dozens of flies. If you're thinking of grabbing a beer with friends during a hot summer day, be careful. The beer you're drinking might not be genuine. Let me show you how some of the craft beer sold outside is made. The cost of a glass might be less than a cent. Everyone has tap water at home, right? First, add some malt powder. A big bag only costs 6 yuan. And a lot? It's cheap anyway, see? The color looks right now, but what about the taste? No problem. Just add some edible alcohol. That fixes the flavor. No foam? Add some baking soda and a bit of citric acid. But not too much, or it'll overflow. This is how the craft beer we often drink is made. Even though we've added everything, it still feels like something's missing. Oh, beer flavoring essence. Not too much though, it can be harmful. Now the taste is perfect, and it smells so good that even I want to drink a glass. And the meat in China isn't exactly clean either. Can anybody sympathize with this? During summer vacation, I worked temporarily at a food processing factory. On my first day, I was horrified. It made me think of the meat rolls I loved at the hot pot restaurant. I was truly devastated. As for the oil used for frying, they will definitely use chemicals to wash the oil rather than replace it with new oil. When there are no standards, even GMO soybean oil looks clean in comparison. Moreover, the braised and cooked foods in China are not always seasoned with natural spices like star anise and cinnamon. Instead, they use a compound called ethyl maltol. Ethyl maltol masks bitterness, fishiness, bad smells, and off flavors. When added to braising liquids, whether for fresh or frozen food, it makes everything taste the same. Slightly spoiled ingredients, after being processed with it, become indistinguishable to consumers. However, excessive consumption can harm the liver, cause headaches, nausea, vomiting, difficulty breathing, and even liver and kidney damage. On the afternoon of August 1st, a large-scale ground collapse occurred at an intersection in Jing'an District, Wuhan, possibly related to the construction of the subway and other underground projects. Local media learned that the incident happened at around 3 p.m. local time in front of Building A of the Zhonglian International Community. Videos circulating online show an oval-shaped sinkhole at the intersection, with a tilted parking gate nearby and a car in the sunken area. Several uniformed personnel were seen at the site. Nearby shop owners stated that cracks appeared on the road at around 2 p.m., followed by gradual sinking. By 3 p.m., the collapse was evident, but it felt different from an earthquake. A witness, Mr. Huang, told reporters that the event occurred around 2 p.m., but fortunately no one was injured. Residents reported that after the incident, the community management notified residents to avoid going out due to the road collapse. At around 6 p.m., the natural gas supply to the community was stopped. Additionally, the Hanshi high-speed rail, which passes through the area, was forced to operate at reduced speeds, affecting trains entering and leaving the Hankou railway station. As for the cause of the collapse, the Hohu area has thick silt layers, often with more than 10 meters of silt on the surface. This might be related to underground engineering work. Another netizen added, "Yes, this area was originally a lake that was filled in, making the ground soft." Many onlookers at the scene speculated that the sinkhole might be connected to the subway construction. According to the location provided by netizens, reporters found on the map that the Wuhan Metro Line 12, currently under construction, passes near the spot. The suspicions are not unfounded. Just a year ago, the northern section of Wuhan Metro Line 12 experienced a water leakage incident, causing ground subsidence near Xingye Road Station and forcing the overnight evacuation of residents from a nearby 30-story building. Seeking answers, reporters from Shenzhen Special Zone Daily contacted the Taizihu Street office. The staff on duty said they couldn't answer questions and expressed reluctance to discuss the matter. They said, "Do you think this is something that can be reported casually? Such matters are not for random reporting." When pressed for details, the staff responded, "Why is Shenzhen Press Group reporting on Wuhan's issues? You can contact people at the scene, but I cannot provide their numbers now." Then they hung up. Subsequently, the reporters called the Jing'an District Emergency Management Bureau and received a similar response. Multiple attempts to reach the Jing'an District Propaganda Department were unsuccessful. As online discussions grew, Wuhan Metro Group finally responded, stating that the cause of the incident was water and sand inflow during the construction of Wuhan Metro Line 12. On July 30th, reports emerged that the authorities in Jinghong City, Yunnan Province, are continuing to enforce the Rice Up the Mountain policy. This has involved deploying a large number of police, urban management, and government personnel to violently uproot bananas planted by farmers in Dongfeng Farm and beating villagers who resisted. Videos show a vast banana plantation that has been leveled, leaving only scattered branches and leaves where there were once dense banana trees. Many villagers tried to resist and clashed with uniformed officials, with some villagers being beaten to the ground. One villager recording the video shouted, "The government is beating people." Many netizens reacted strongly, saying, "Isn't this pushing the people to revolt?" Some speculated that the local authorities might have been given a political task from higher-ups to meet cultivated land quotas. Others suspected that the local authorities were using this as an excuse to forcibly seize farmers' land, a practice that has occurred multiple times in the past. From July 4th to 5th, in Yijia Village, Jian County, Jiangxi Province, the local government continuously dispatched SWAT teams, civil servants, and medical personnel to forcibly seize villagers' land, beating and arresting protesting villagers. In another incident, a young soldier from the East Sea Fleet returned home to find that his village was forcibly expropriated. His entire family was beaten. In recent years, the Chinese Communist Party has been pushing to turn forests, fish ponds, farms, greenhouses, orchards, and crops to plant trees instead. This has led to widespread public dissatisfaction. Additionally, the authorities have been promoting a plan called Rice Up the Mountain, converting mountains into terraced fields to grow so-called high-yield upland rice. However, this has resulted in the rice seedlings dying from drought and the terraced fields being abandoned. Seeing these outcomes, the CCP's mouthpiece published an article in June 2023 calling returning force to farmland a false concept. Public opinion at the time speculated that the returning force to farmland and Rice Up the Mountain schemes could become failed projects. However, reports indicate that the returning force to farmland policy continues in some southern regions. In April 2024, Mr. Wei revealed that the local government was still forcibly destroying non-grain crops to meet cultivated land quotas. He cited an example of farmers' mulberry trees being destroyed by authorities and replaced by corn. After the corn seedlings sprouted and the government officials took photos to report back, they ignored the crops. Mr. Wei also mentioned that he had planted over 10 acres of eucalyptus trees, which would have been profitable in 2 years, but they were forcibly destroyed to plant corn. However, the corn couldn't grow, so they had to revert to planting trees. On September 17, 2023, a video showing a large mandarin orchard being destroyed circulated online. The videographer stated that the returning force to farmland policy has started, and all mandarin trees had to be removed. In June 2023, Yunnan was hit by heavy rains. The policies of returning force to farmland and Rice Up the Mountain led to disastrous consequences. The